Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, I hope all the topics what we have discussed on backtracking is clear. So now we'll see the next topic under module 5, that is a branch and bound. Okay. So what is this branch and bound? Okay. Before going to see what is this branch and bound, we need to know what is backtracking. We already know, just as a revision, we know backtracking, where in a backtracking it has been implemented using a state space tree, correct? Whenever you find bounding function is not met with the condition, correct? Whenever the bounding function is not satisfied, you're going to kill that particular node, correct? So that is what it says. A backtracking, you're going to cut off a branch. So branch is what? The node, whatever which we are moving the path, right? So we are cutting off the branch if the problem state space tree, if it cannot deduce to the solution, or if it cannot leads to a solution, correct? You're going to kill that particular node. So we know that very well, right? How was backtracking working? And this problem, that is the backtracking approach, can be used for optimization problem. It can be used for optimization problem to strengthen or to get the more accurate, more feasible solutions. We also know what is an optimization problem, correct? So what is an optimization problem? Any problem which seeks us to find maximum or minimum of some objective function, right? For example, traveling salesman problem, correct? Even in NASDAQ, all those things are a maximum. You're asking for a maximum amount, maximum profit or minimum traveling cost, something like this. So this is this kinds of problem is an optimization problem. So the solution for the optimization problem can be better strengthened by using a backtracking approach. And we know what is an optimal solution. Optimal solution is nothing but a feasible solution. You will get a number of solutions, feasible solutions, out of which the one feasible solution which will give the best value for an objective function. Correct. So if it is a maximum profit, so the maximum value you need to select out of the possible feasible solutions. If it is a minimum cost or minimum traveling cost, something like that, you need to get the minimum value. So that is what optimal solution is. What among the feasible solutions, select the one solution, feasible solution, which would give the best value for an objective function. So this is all about backtracking. This is just a revision. Why we need to do this why we need to know backtracking, revise backtracking, is because there is a connection, there is a similarity between backtracking and the branch and bound. Is this is clear? Now we'll see what is the similarity. So in backtracking, even in branch and bound, we will use a state space tree. You know what is state space tree very well, correct? So even in branch and bound, we will use a state space tree. Fine. So then what is the difference between backtracking and the branch and bound is, in case of a branch and bound, we are going to solve an optimization problem only by considering minimization problem. Am I clear? So in case of backtracking, it can be of any type, correct? Maximization or minimization, correct? The optimization problem can be of any type. But in branch and bound, it should be only for a minimization problem. This is clear? For example, if you want to find a minimum cost, traveling cost, or something like that. So that is an example of minimization problem. But then there is a question arises. Yes, there is a chances of, if there is if the maximization problem is given, yes, there is a chances of convert that maximization into minimization problem, and then you can start solving using a branch and bound. But only thing you should remember is this is basically used to solve a minimization problem. Okay, that is what is your branch and bound technique is all about. Is this is clear? So the difference between branch and bound and backtracking is what? In backtracking, it is used for optimization problem, which considers both maximization and minimization. But whereas in case of branch and bound, we will concentrate only on a minimization problems. Clear? And one more thing one more difference you should note over here is, in backtracking, if you see, the approach which we are using is depth first search, correct? In the state space tree, we are using a depth first search method, but here in case of branch and bound, it is breadth first search, BFS. Okay, so we will use BFS here. We will see all these things in detail with an example, but all this theory you should know. So there's a difference between branch and bound and the backtracking. Clear? So there are two additional items along with backtracking which has been included in a branch and bound. The one is You need to have you need to find the best value for an objective function, or it is also called as bound. Bound in the sense it is nothing but assigning a bounding function. Correct? So assigning a bounding function. So what is bounding function? Bounding function which helps us to prevent the expansion of a node, which means we are checking for a bounding function. If it satisfies, then only we are moving to the next node. Correct? The next set of node in the state space. So that is what is this bound is. So I will repeat, bound is nothing but assigning a bounding functions. Is this is clear? So that is what this bound means. So you need to bound on the best value of the objective function on any solution which we got. So in order to do this, we need to have some certain way. Correct? So next one is select the value which gives the best solution. Select the value which gives the best solution and which has been the best seen which has been seen so far. Correct? So that will select the value which has been best solution which you have seen so far. Correct? So which means, for example, if you know it is a minimization problem, so select the one which gives a minimum value. If, for example, in the previous the branch, if it gives minimum value, but now if you get maximum value, then that is not a best solution. Correct? So these two are the additional items along with your backtracking you should remember. One is bound on the best value and the other one is value of the best solution. Okay. So the next one is branch and bound. Okay. When will we terminate this branch and bound? There are three conditions based on which we are going to terminate a search path. What is the search path? It is very simple. Just while in a state space tree, how are we terminating? That is what we are going to see now. Okay. So before that, let me talk more about branch and bound. So what is this branch here? Correct. It has been divided into two words. So what is this branch? The branch here is nothing but a way in which we search the state space tree. Okay, we very well know what is state space tree, right? So something like this. So it will be something like this. So you will have some node. So something like this. Correct, you will have this. So you are going to check whether this is. So how are we branching from one node to the other node? So the way of doing this is a branch. Correct? How are we searching this? The in a state space tree is a branch. Okay. What is this bound? Bound is nothing but the bounding function. Is nothing but checking for a bounding function. That is what is a bound here. Fine. Fine. So I was talking about the way in which or the reasons when we can terminate a search path. The first reason here is the nodes bound if it is not better than the best solution which has been seen so far. I already talked about this, right? So if we know it is a minimization problem. If the value at this particular node is say 15, but the previous one which we got is 5. So this is more compared to the previous one, which means it is not giving us a best solution. So the best solution seen so far, so something like this best solution seen so far is 5 for a minimization problem, correct? So if the nodes, so this particular node solution is 15, which is not better compared to the previous one because we are talking about minimization, the minimum value. It is not better which has been seen so far. So which means terminate at this particular node. Clear? So this is one of the reason where you can terminate a particular search path. Is this concept is clear? Okay, this is one of the reason. The other reason is if there is no feasible solution because the constraints is already violated. For example, in case of knapsack, correct? Suppose if the value is 15 which you got, but the bag's capacity is say only 12. It's already reached 15. It exceeds the constraint. So in such case, you're going to terminate this particular or stop this particular search path, correct? So that is what second point says here. The node represents, if the node represents no feasible solution because it already violates the given constraint. In case of knapsack, what is the given constraint? It should not, the bag's capacity is 12, which should, the total weight of the object which you are filled should not exceed the bag's capacity. But here in this search space, it's already 15, more than the 12. So the constraint is not being satisfied. So this is one of the reason where you can terminate the search path. Clear? Okay. So what is the next reason? What is the next possibility which leads us to terminate the search path is whenever you reach the last node. For example, suppose if you have certain nodes, whenever you reach or consider you have n number of objects, you have done with all objects. Okay, and no further choices you can make, no further alternatives you can take. So in such case, you call it as a single point. Once it reaches to the single point, you can stop there because all the objects, we have done with all the objects. There is no more other choices is left out for us to take. So we call the such scenario as a single point, correct? Consists of single point. So that even in such case, you can terminate that particular option or a node, search space node, correct? So these are the three reasons which allow us to terminate a search path. Clear? So in detail, again, when we start solving the problems, you will understand when are we terminating a given condition, when are we terminating the search path, right? Fine. So this is all about the introduction of branch and bound. So branch and bound, it is similar to the backtracking. Here also we will implement a state space tree. But one thing you should remember in the case of branch and bound, say, for example, in the case of in the case of backtracking, how are we doing? We start from this and again go here, again go to the next alternative, again go here, correct? So we are dealing with depth wise, correct? So that is why it is DFS, depth first search. But in case of branch and bound, it is BFS, correct? So breadth first search. So start finding the alternatives at this particular solution, then go for this, something like this. So it is a breadth first search, correct? So that is the difference between backtracking and a bound, branch and bound. Clear? So this is just an introduction. Now we'll start taking one problem. For that we are trying to apply our branch and bound approach. So what is the problem over here? It is an assignment problem. Fine. So what is this assignment problem? The problem statement or a problem definition of an assignment problem is we have n number of people and n number of jobs. We need to assign each and every people with one job. Correct? Say for example, if you have five people, right, P1, P2, or three people, P1, P2, P3, and there are certain jobs J1, J2, and J3. We need to assign every person with each job, individual person with a single job. We need to assign individual person with a single job, such that the total cost of the assignment should be as small as possible. Am I clear? So, for example, that's what J1, J2, J3. For example, if you are assigning J1 to P1, okay, if you are assigning J1 to P1, if you take say 1, 2, and 3, correct? So which one will you select? I should select the one which gives a minimum cost, correct? In a similar way, suppose here for assigning J2 to a P1, it takes a 2, it takes a 3 and 4, it takes a 3 different costs. Each job have different costs for different persons, correct? So you need to select such a way that you need to find a solution such a way that assigning a jobs to a person should lead to a smallest cost, correct? So total cost should be a smallest as possible. So this is a problem statement. I hope you understood the problem statement, right? So what is this? Assigning n people to n jobs, which means each person should assign with single job, correct? So don't get confused here. N people to n jobs. It's like single people with single job. So n people to n jobs, so that the total cost, whatever you have assigned to all the people, should be as small as possible, because we know it is a minimization. Because we know branch and bound basically deals with a minimization problem. It should be as small as possible. So how we representing this assignment problem is, it is represented in terms of n cross n cost matrix. Okay, it is represented with C. So C is nothing but a cost matrix, which is n cross n matrix. Correct? This statement as problem definition or a problem statement, whatever which we have given, can be rewritten with in terms of matrix. That is, select one element in each row of a matrix. Correct? So select only one element in each row, so that no two selected elements are in the same column. So in each row, you need to select one element, such that you need to make sure there is no only one element from one column. Okay, so no two elements can be selected from the same column. Correct. So let me just show you with one example. So yeah, consider this example. We know there are four persons. So person A, B, C, and D. And how many jobs? Four jobs. So each person should assign with each job. Correct. So final cost should be a minimum one. Correct. That is a problem statement. So what was it was telling about? Select in each row. You need to make sure in each column only one item will be selected. No two items should be there. No two or more. Correct. In each column, you should select only one. item, only one number, correct? So that is what is your problem definition in terms of matrix, rewritten in terms of matrix. Clear? So what does this matrix talks about? This is n cross n matrix, 4 cross 4, right? Because 4 jobs and 4 persons, 4 cross 4 matrix. So what does this talk about? For a person A, if I assign a job 1, so whose cost is 9. For a person B, if I assign a job 2, the cost is 2. For a person A, if I assign a job 3, the cost is 7. For a same person A, if I assign a job 4, the cost is 8. So there are different costs for each job for a single same person. So you need to make sure such that the total cost of assigning jobs to all the persons should be a minimum 1. Okay. So let me start with branch chain bound. Okay, how are we solving this? So let me start how to solve this. Let me just go through in detail. So this is a person 1. I already explained. So person A, all the jobs, each row represents a person, each column represents the cost. So in branch chain bound, if you see here, okay, so let us start with a root node. Okay, this is a root node. Let us start with a root node where consider no elements has been selected. Okay, no elements is been selected from the cost matrix. Here we need to have something called a lower bound value. Okay, what is this lower bound value? LB here. LB represents a lower bound value. Right. So let us start with a lower bound value. Okay. If I ask you to do, if I ask you people to do, how are we doing? So select a minimum value from each row and then pick and then find the total cost, which obviously gives the minimum cost. Correct. For example, so here for a person A, the minimum cost is 2. Correct. So select job 2. For a person B, minimum cost is 3. So select job 3. For a person C, minimum cost is 1. So select job 3. For a person D, minimum value is 4. Select job 4. That is how we usually do, right? So we'll consider this as a lower bound and we will sum up all those things. We will get a value. Fine. So is this is a solution now? No, this is not a solution. This is only the initial condition that has been considered with a lower bound. Okay, we should branch further. So we are branching further here. Okay. What are the possible options? We can assign person A with job 1, job 2, job 3, and job 4. Correct. All the possibilities. So we can see the difference here. It is a breadth. It is breadth first search. So it is we are moving in a breadth order, not in a depth order. Correct. So it is a breadth first search. So write down like this. For a person A, we'll start with a person A. For a person A, let us assign a job 1. If I assign a job 1, this lower bound value will change, correct? So lower bound value will be for a person A, if I assign a job 1, what is the cost there? It is 9. So it will become 9 now instead of 2. Fine. Because we are assigning job 1 to a person A. We are checking for all possible alternatives. Correct? So 9 plus the remaining, we are not dealing with other persons. Correct? So the remaining will be same. So 3 plus 1 plus 4, which is equal to 17. Fine. Now, some of you may have doubts saying that we already told the constraint over here. In each column, correct? In each column, only one item should be selected because same job cannot be given to two persons. Correct? So also check for this. So 9. Okay. Are we considering any of these values? No. So this is all these things is fine. So 3, 1, and 4 is fine. The same value, whatever which is given here. So same I have written. What is the total cost here? 9 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4 will give you 17. Correct? So this is one possibility. Next possibility is assign a job to for a person A. So if I assign a job to for a person A, this assignment lower bound will become, what is the value here for a job to for a person? It is 2. So 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4, which is equal to 10. Correct? So which means what? The job 2, I have not assigned, I have assigned to person A and not been assigned to any other persons. If you observe here, 3 is what? It is for a job, it is for a job 3. 1 is what? 1 is for a job 3. Job 4. We are checking only whether this job 2 is assigned or not. No, it has not been assigned to any other thing. So it is okay. Calculate the sum. It is 10 now. Okay. Are you getting? Fine. So the next one is, next alternative is assign a person A with job 3. If I assign a person A with job 3, what is the cost? It is 7. So 7 plus. Now if you see, can I write 3 here? No, 3 is not possible because we already told if I talk with job 3, I cannot assign job 3 to any other person. So this 3 cannot be written here. So in this place, this 3 cannot be written. So instead of these 3, check for the next minimum value. After 3, the minimum, next minimum is 4. So I will write 4 here. Plus. So next is 1 year, correct? In the place of job 3, it is 1 year. Can I write 1 year? Can I use no? Because I already told I am using a job 3. I am assigning a job 3 for a person A. So I cannot use this one. Check for the next minimum value. Next minimum value after 1 is, it is 5 year in this example. So it is 5. Plus, can I write this 4? Yes, I can write this 4 because it represents job 4. I can write this 4 as it is. So 4. So what is the total value which we got? It is 20. Are you getting the point here? Okay. So if you have any doubts, you please put your message in your ping in the chat box. I will reply for that. Okay. So this is done. So next alternative is for a job 4. Okay. Assign a job 4 for a person D. So assign a job 4. So what is a lower bound will become? Lower bound will become value of job 4. For cost of job for a person A is 8. So instead of 2, I will write 8 less. So 8 plus. So what is the value which, what is the value, the cost of job 2 which has been assigned for a person B? It is 3. So it will be retained as it is, correct? So 3 plus. So for a person C, the value which is 1, we can cross verify over here because job 1 is already been assigned, correct? So 1 I will retain as it is. Plus. So now if you observe, I already told. Yeah, I was here, right? So assigning a job 4, correct? So sorry for the disturbance, fine. So this what this says, assigning a job 4 for a person D, correct? So assigning a job 4 for a person D. What is the value here? So 8 I have given as this plus. So 3, let it retain as it is. We should cross verify every time with this initial node, correct? So cross verify with the initial node. Instead of 2, it is 8 plus 3 I will retain as it is plus 1 I will retain as it is plus 4. I cannot write 4 here because I am saying I am assigning a job 4 for a person A. Instead of job 4, check for the next minimum value. The next minimum value over here is, if you observe, it is 6. Correct? So write down 6. Now the value is 18. Is it clear? The total cost is 18. Is this is clear? Any doubts here? So we should keep verify with the keep verify with the initial node and then just do it. Only constraint you should only condition you should keep checking here is, if you're assigning job 2, so job 2 cannot be assigned to any other persons, correct? So that you need to make sure. So this is a lower bound. This is also been called as lower bound calculation. So we will continue further. Okay, so this is how usually they represent in a textbook. They have used this in a textbook. You can write down, if you for a simplification purpose, you can write down these values also. Okay, it will not make any difference. Fine. So now if you observe, we know it is a minimum cost, right? So the minimum value over here is 17, 10, 20 and 18. The minimum value here is what? 10. So now we need to branch further, correct? So we need to branch further with these possible value. So bound, that is what I was telling you, that the 2 additional points which you need to maintain, right? The 2 additional points I was telling you, bound to the one which is the bound to the one which is what is that, which is the best, which gives the best solution. So best solution over here is what? Out of 17, 10, 20 and 18, the best solution is 10 because 10 is the minimum value. So branch over that. This is fine? Okay. So branch over this. So now let me start with this. So what does this say? Okay, so what this number, whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 is represents this steps. That's all. Don't need not to worry about this 1, 2, 3, 4. Just see this. So what is the possibility? A is been assigned with 2, correct? A is been assigned with job 2. Next, what you need to do? What is the other alternative? Assign job 1 to. Next, I will consider in this particular level. I will consider only B. This is only for A, right? So now I will consider B. Possibility is what? I can take 1, I can take 3, I can take job 4, correct? I mean, which means I can assign job 1, job 3 and job 4 because job 2 is already been assigned to a person A, correct? Now start assigning a job 1 for a person B. So now what is the possibility over here? So it is job, you should keep looking at this. So what was the value over here? If you remember the previous slide, it is 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4. correct? So let me take this example, 2 plus 1 plus 2. So 2 will remain, I mean, the value, A's value will remain as it is. So 2 plus, correct? So 2 value will remain as it is. What is the cost if you assign a job 1 to B? Because we know it is B, I mean, assigning job 1 to B. What is the cost of assigning job 1 to B, person B? It is 6. So 2 plus 6 plus the remaining, you should check it out, 1, the person C and D. So for the person C, it is according to the initial next previous state, it is 1. So 1 represents the job 3. So let it be as it is. And 4, it is not colliding. So let it be as it is. So what is the total cost here? 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 1, 11, 11 plus 2 is 13. So that is how you got 13. Is this is clear? Fine. So this we have done with assigning a job 1 to person B. What is the next alternative? Can I assign job to person B? No, it's not possible because it's already been assigned to a person A. Correct? So what is the, after job 2, next is job 3. Assign job 3 and check what is the cost now. So what is the possibility? So here, you know, it is initially it was 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 4. This is for each and every person. This will remain constant here, correct? So it was 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4. This 2 will remain constant because already I assigned a job 2 for person A. So it is will remain constant. So 2 plus, what is the cost if I assign a job 3 for a person B? It is cost is 3, correct? So 2 plus 3 plus, can I assign a job 3 again here because 1 represents a job 3, cost of job 3 for a person C. Can I use this? No, because there is a constraint. No two cost can be selected from the same column. If you observe here, 3 and 1 is in the same column, so this cannot be selected. Okay. So what is the next pause? If 1 cannot be selected, what is the next option? Next option is select for the next minimum. So in this third row, what is the minimum? After 1, the next minimum is 5. So it will be 5. So 2 plus 3 plus 5. Again, so for a person D, it is 4. In the initial previous step, it is 4. Can I use 4 only, or is there any option to change it? We'll check it out. So 4 is for job 4. Okay, so that can be used because it is not in the same column. This can be used. So what is the total cost? We have done with all persons. What is the total cost? 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4, which will leads to 14. Correct. So that is why they have represented here 14. So in the textbook, if you see, they have not given the detailed explanation of this. In your exam, if you feel comfortable, you can write, instead of writing 14 as directly, you can just give the representation of this split ups of this and then give the total sum. Fine. So we have done with this. So what is the next one? So go for assigning a job 4 for a person B. That is the next alternative. So assign job 4 for a person B. The cost of person A with the job 2 is 2 already. So no need not to change here also. So 2 plus. Assigning a job 4 for a person B is 7. Cost is 7. So 7 plus. So next go for the next one, that is cost for assigning a job for a person. So it is job 3, it is 1 only. So 1 plus, for this also it is 4. Can I write 4 now? No, because I have selected 7 for a job for a person B. It is in the same column. So I should not select this 4. Instead of this 4, go for the next smallest one. Correct. Which is the next smallest one here? The next smallest one over here is in this particular row is 6. So I can write 6 here. Clear? So it will be 6 now. So 2 plus 7 plus 1 plus 6 will give you 17. This is clear? So this is how you got the value here, 13, 14 and 17. Am I clear with this? So 13, 14 and 17, how did you get this? Okay, once you have done with this, again you need to branch further, correct? Bound value you got, you need to branch further. How can I branch further? What is the condition here? Check for the best bound the best feasible solution. Which is the best feasible solution in this example? It is the minimum value. Correct? Minimum value out of 13, 14 and 17 is 13. So you need to branch over here. Okay, the other two nodes has been what you can say, you can kill that particular node. That is why it is represented with this X mark here. Correct? This is clear? Fine. So branch over this particular node because it gives the best bound solution. Correct? Fine. So I branched over here. Now what is the possibility? See, if you observe here previously, and I mean, if you go back to the previous notes, it says assign a job to for a person A. Correct. Now this talks about assign a job 1 to a person B. Next remaining left out is what job 3 and job 4. Correct. So now what you need to do, this is for a person C. This particular level is for a person C. Now what you need to do, assign the possible alternatives is what the or left out jobs is what job 3 and job 4. So I can either assign job 3 or job 4 for a person C. Now we will check it out the total cost. We will see the minimum one out of that. Correct. So in this example, what did I do? Assign a job 3 for a person C. If you assign a job 3 for a person C, okay, what was the value which you get here? So for this, I'll just write down. So 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4. Correct. So it will give you a better understanding if I write this sum. So 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4. So 2 plus 6 will remain as it is because we already assigned job 2 to A and job 1 to person B. So it will be same, no changes in the cost. So 2 plus 6 will remain as it is. And what is that we are talking about here? Assign a job 3 for a person C. If you assign a job 3 for a person C, the cost over here is 1. So write down 1. Okay, the next possibility is, or next option which is left out is assign a job 4 for a person D. Job 4 for a person D is 4. What is the cost? 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4, it is 13. Correct? The total cost which you got is 13. So that is why it is written 13 over here. Clear? Fine. If I told there are two alternatives, alternatives. One is assigning a job 3 to person C or assigning job 4 to person C. Only two options left out, right? So we have done with job 3. Next, assign job 4 for a person C and check the total cost. Here in this case, again 2 and 6, that is a cost of assigning jobs to A and B is fixed. So 2 plus 6. Next option is, as I told, assign a job 4 to a person C. Assigning a job 4 to a person C, the cost given in the cost matrix is 8. So 8 plus. If job 4 is assigned to person C, only option left out for us is assigning a job 3 to a person D. Correct? So value for this is what? It is 9. So total cost will give you what? 2 plus 6 plus will give you around 25, right? So that is a value which is given here, 25. Is this is clear? Okay, so for 13 and 25. So now what you need to do, whether we need to stop over here? No, because we need to get the solution, we need to branch further. Is there any meaning in branching further? No, right? Because this branch itself, this node itself clearly says if we are branching, I mean if you are assigning a job 3 for person C, which indirectly implies only one job left out, that is job 4, as I need not to branch further because here only we got the complete solution. Next question is whether we need to select this particular node or this node. We need to select the 8th one, correct? The 8th step, because we are looking at for a minimum, because it is a minimization problem. We need to look for the minimum value. Out of 13 and 25, the minimum value is what? 13. So this is the one which gives us the feasible solution. This is correct, right? So any doubts till now? So this is how you are going to solve assignment problem using a branch and bound approach. Fine. So now let me rewrite the answer. This is a state space tree, right? So this is a state space tree for a given problem. So this was a question and this is a state space tree. Now I need to derive the final solution. What are we deriving from the state space tree? So you can look it out here, right? So we are branched in this particular node. So assigning job 2 to person A. So this one. Next one. So out of these options, we selected this one, which means assigning a job 1 to a person B. Correct? So next is assigning job C to a person, sorry, job 3 to a person C. Next is assigning, left out is assigning job 4 to a person D. So this is option which we got. So you can write it in this form, right? So job 1 to person A, sorry, job 2 to person A, job 1 to person B, job 3 to person C, and job 4 to person D. So this is how you will write your final solution. total cost also you need to represent. What is the total cost? It is 13, right? So it is 2 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4. So it is 13. So this is the minimum cost which you got after assigning n jobs to n persons. Is this topic is clear? So this is all about branch and bound. Okay, let me show you one more example, or I will show you how to represent. This is how they usually give in the textbook, but for understanding these topics in a simpler way, let me show you one more example. So something like this, right? So you can start. You can write an initial starting note. So your LB represents what? LB represents a lower bound. If you get confused with these total, what you can do, just write the correct. As I already shown here, just write the individual cost of individual persons. Correct. Just a second. So you can write in this form, right? So write the individual persons, sorry, the cost of assigning job to the individual persons. You can represent in this way. Okay, even this is also correct, right? So instead of writing 7 directly, you may get confused. So write down these value and then you can derive at the next notes. Okay, this is clear? Any doubts here? Fine. This is all about branch and bound.